Good day to all. Welcome to Extreme Recap. Captain Vikram Khanna is shown to us in the first scene. Vikram, a well-known and skilled pilot who is currently in Dubai and is known for his brave emergency landings, gets a call from a friend inviting him to a club when he arrives at his hotel after a successful landing. Vikram initially declines the invitation, claiming that the following day he has a flight to coach. In any case, when his diligent companion keeps on demanding, he gives in. After entering the club, Vikram sees his companion looking at a gorgeous woman he thinks is out of his league. However, Vikram is sure that he thinks about her with his attractive features. So he says he can get the woman's phone number and offers her a bed. On the off chance that he loses, he will purchase his companion a vehicle. In any case, on the off chance that he wins, he will take his number 1 cruiser. I do not reside on Earth, but these guys do. Quickly, the friend agrees. The challenge thus begins. After a few drinks, confidently approaches the woman and engages in smooth conversation. After that, he obtains her phone number and persuades her to attend a party with him and his friend. Then, have a great time and dance all night. Before heading back to their respective hotels in the early morning, there might even be an Eiffel Tower in Dubai. Sadly, Vikram falls behind schedule and misses all of his alarms as a result of his excessive drinking. He is in the end stirred by a call from his significant other, who reminds him about their little girl's birthday coming up. However, Vikram, who is known to have a remarkable memory, assures her that he is very familiar with the date. As the departure time approaches, Vikram hastily prepares himself and makes his way to the airport, concealing his tired eyes. Behind shades, he meets Tanya Albuquerque, his co-pilot, upon arrival, and they briefly discuss their upcoming flight. Before getting on the skyline, they talk to each other briefly. A total of 7 aircraft. After everyone has arrived, Vikram speaks to the passengers and tells them important details about the flight's expected duration, the distance to their destination, and the weather. It's practically similar to some other ordinary. The people seem to be at ease. However, once the plane is in the air and has attained a suitable altitude, Vikram goes to sleep after turning on autopilot. Can he do that? After a brief period of time, Tanya struggles to determine the cause of an engine alarm. Fortunately, Vikram wakes up and quickly uses his sharp wit to fix the problem. He then, at that point, brings over an airline steward and solicitations some dark espresso, saying he is as yet feeling sluggish. Additionally, he whispers the name of a particular medication, Viagra, to her, which she recognizes and prepares for him. When Vikram finally gets his coffee, he takes a brief break to use the bathroom. He returns to the cockpit shortly thereafter. Yes, he does, and he talks to his co-pilot for a short time. It starts to rain heavily with thunder and lightning flashes as time goes on. At the point when the pilots check the fuel meter, they find out that the aircraft still has 4,800 kilograms of fuel. In addition, they anticipate taking approximately 45 minutes to reach coach. Meanwhile, an elderly staff is employed at the coach and air traffic control office, by the name of Mr. Tripathi, who keeps working regardless of his powerless well-being. Tanya makes contact with the coach in ATC as the flight approaches its destination. However, when she asks Mr. Tripathi for permission to land, he tells her that the heavy rain has significantly reduced runway visibility, which has resulted in a negative response. You can need to hold up, dear. Tanya consults with Vikram after hearing this to determine whether they should continue the flight or attempt a landing. She also informs him that their fuel reserves are decreasing by the second. In any case, shockingly, Vikram declares that they will continue with the arrival notwithstanding the difficult perceivability conditions. Tanya then, at that point, transfers this message to the ATC, informing them of the basic fuel circumstance. Subsequently, Mr. Tripathi at long last awards them consent to arrive on runway number 27. Okay, come on in at this point. Even though the landing is only a few minutes away, the rain has intensified. Sadly, the aircraft loses contact with the ATC as a result, forcing them to abort. Also, fly again in the following scene. Tanya suggests to Vikram, who is concerned, that they think about landing in Bengaluru as a highly secure option. She estimates that they still have 3,900 kilograms of fuel remaining, but they need 3,300 kilograms to get there. The crane, on the other hand, asserts that they will return to their initial location. He then, at that point, contacts the mentor and ATC to look for consent for handling, a solicitation that Mr. Tripathy awards. Unfortunately, however, the adverse weather once more obscures their view of the runway. Now that time is running out and people are getting nervous, Vikram changes the flight route quickly to the nearby city of Trivandrum. The arrangement is to land there as quickly as time permits. However, he was unaware the Trivandrum ATC is busy advising other airports to deny any flights that are headed for them because of a storm coming. Simultaneously, Mr. Tripathy's well-being starts to decay, not feeling far better, and he is supplanted by another staff part. This staff part knows nothing about the essential crisis data got from Trivandrum. Then again, tension develops among individuals anticipating the appearance of their friends and family as word gets out about the flight redirection inside Flight 777. The condition is significantly more serious. The travelers have become fretful, requesting the airline stewards a series from questions. One of the people on board is a journalist who covers aviation. When he tells the other people, he notices that something is wrong. They all start screaming out of panic. The circumstance before long goes crazy. With a calm voice and a ferocious boner, Vikram calls on the passengers to work together, forcing him to leave the cockpit, claiming that their ultimate objective is safety at the destination. During this time, the employees at the Trivandrum ATC are unfazed and believe that no flights will land until further notice. However, to their surprise, Tanya, who is on flights 7, and 8, grants them a landing permit. She is nervously asked by the staff if they received the storm. The coaching AC has issued an emergency notification. They go on to say that it is impossible to land because the visibility on the Trivandrum runway is significantly worse than in the coach. They suggest Bangalore is a different location for landing. However, Vikram informs them that no emergency notifications were sent to them. The inexperienced Tanya begins to scream after he informs them that their fuel level is critically low. However, Vikram maintains her composure. As the airplane approaches the runway, the disturbance strengthens, sending both the travelers and the airline stewards into a condition of frenzy. The Trevor May is finally persuaded by this to realize that it is now or never. As a result, they allow the aircraft to land on the runway. Yet again 16, Vikram gradually cuts down the plane and endeavors to contact the runway, yet the wheels lose foothold, constraining him to cut short the arrival and climb. Following this, he illuminates the ATC that they will attempt to land again, this time on the runway 34. Hearing this, the ATC officials become concerned and question the pilot's decision when they learn that the 34's wind direction is terrible for landing. Even though it's possible that the plane's tail will be ripped off, Vikram still refuses to move. After mentally preparing himself for the Cranton Strux, he must take matters into his own hands as the fuel runs out quickly. The travelers to hang on close as they are planning for a crisis arrival. After that, shockingly closing his eyes, he pilots the plane safely to the ground. In the long run, the airplane lands and starts skating. It nearly arrives at the finish of the runway, yet luckily, grinds to a halt at the last possible second. This is the means by which he landed with his body the previous evening, as well. Along these lines, Vikram has phenomenally figured out how to securely set down the plane, despite the harsh conditions. In any case, the entanglements don't end there. Truth be told, they have just started Vikram Titania wind up confronting an examination by the Directorate General of Common Flying. Or on the other hand the DGCA because of their incredibly hazardous landing. The DGCA completely inspects each part of the flight, including the Mayday trouble signal gave preceding the arrival following. The unfortunate news that a senior passenger died of a heart attack has been relayed by DGCA officials. Following this, the findings of the investigation are sent to Narayan Vedot, the strict head of the Aviation Accident Investigation Bureau AIB. He will now be in charge of locating and punishing the culprits. In the meantime, he feels guilty because he thinks he killed the elderly woman. He believes that he could have assisted his passengers significantly better. Soon after, Vikram gets an upsetting call from the departed lady's girl, who calls him a killer. She specifies that individuals like him ought to never be permitted to fly airplanes. After the call closes, the award mournfully gets back, where his better half endeavors to comfort him, advising him that in the event that he was not the pilot, the episode might have been significantly more grievous. In the interim, Mary Ann and his analytical group analyze the black box and assemble all the data with the goal that they can get the liable party. A notification summoning him for the investigation that will take place the following week is sent to the Grant later. Then, at that point, he gets a call from Thin. Whoever asks Vikram to get ready for the upcoming events calmly responds that Vikram has nothing to prepare for because he has nothing to hide. In the following scene, we are acquainted with the head of Horizon Aviation Routes, named Nishant. He seems, by all accounts, to be content because of the significant ascent in his organization's portion cost following the previous episode. Notwithstanding, his appearance rapidly changes when he discovers that Mary Ann will be the one driving the examination. Niche shots claim that Mary Ann conducts his investigations in such a way that the accused cannot escape. The airplane accident received a lot of attention on television in the midst of all of these things. Suppositions wander, with some faulting the pilot for the lady's demise and others lauding their choice as the best under those conditions. The fact that none of those commenting are pilots themselves is an interesting twist. The scene then changes to Vikrant and Tanya's most memorable preliminary, which is taken as a high-profile case. Mary Ann asserts that the exhausted captain was in charge of the flight. Having gone through 7 days of direct flights, he explains that homesickness is a common cause of pilot errors. Be that as it may, Vikram shields himself by drawing a line up with warriors who satisfy their obligations reliably. Despite the fact that they have been separated from their families for a considerable amount of time, Vikram is given a bottle of Disparate, a medication that is only available to pilots and cabin crew. He uses a lie detector to demonstrate his suspicion that Vikram consumed this substance. However, to everyone's surprise, the captain passed the questioning without incident, which caused the first trial to be postponed. The Skyline Company holds a meeting later in the day, where Vikram's niece and other higher-ups advise him to keep quiet during the trial to protect the company's reputation. However, Niche threatens the captain with being blacklisted from the entire aviation industry if he does not comply. He likewise gave a similar warning to Tanya prior to stomping out of the spot. Mary Ann asks Tanya a series of questions that force her to carefully choose her responses. Under this strain, she uncovers that the skipper had red eyes before the flight and had slept. Additionally, she reveals their disagreement regarding an alternate landing location shortly after takeoff. Mary Ann unexpectedly presents the woman from the Dubai club when Vikram claims to have had sufficient rest before the flights. She uncovers that they had been drinking and celebrating an Eiffel transcending until 6 a.m. The captain clarified that he still managed to get some rest throughout the day and does not dispute her account. He features that the flight rules specify a 12-hour drinking ban for pilots prior to flying, and that the time reference between the finish of the party and the plane's departure was roughly 15 hours. Which demonstrates that he has not broken the rules. Unwilling to give up, Narayan lists Vikram's mistakes from that day, such as hovering over coaching for 33 minutes and fueling the plane below its maximum capacity in response to Captain. He emphasizes that pilots are not rule makers but rather rule followers, and that no responsible pilot would put the lives of their passengers in danger. Mary Ann then redirects his focus. The shocking fact that Vikram landed the plane with his eyes closed is then accidentally revealed by who? Mary Ann has the perfect opportunity to emphasize the captain's irresponsibility as a result of this. Moreover, he raises the issue of picking some unacceptable runway, bringing up these points. There is no Vikram defense at the conclusion of the second trial. When he gets back to his house, his wife takes him to the house of the daughter of the passenger who died. Even though Vikram is in a bad mood right now, he sincerely apologizes for the daughter's death. The third trial begins on the third day, and Vikram explains that he has a photographic memory of the runway number just before the verdict is announced. 34, because of his arrival experience there. He asks for a simulation of the flight in the flight simulator to back up his claim. The appointed authority endorses this. Additionally, in the following scene, a veteran controls the aircraft while wearing a blindfold. Mary Ann is also in the co-pilot seat because he wants to carefully inspect everything. But his surprise, Vikram lands the plane without his blindfolds. The judge makes a decision at last. Also, Mr. Tripathi is excused for neglecting to transfer the crisis data. All things considered, I presumably can't help contradicting you. Whereas veteran pilot licenses in Antonio are only suspended for 3 months. Furthermore, the AIB declares a severe examination against Horizon Aviation routes. The scene then, at that point, movements to 90 days some other time when Vikram gets back to flying at the air terminal. An airline steward from Horizon approaches him and admits that she was the person who had consumed the frantic out of dread. She uncovers that she had needed to admit before, however, as a single parent, she was frightened about losing her employment. Vikram requested Viagra. All things considered, Vikram understands what is happening and consoles her, exhorting her not to stress. Turn on notifications, please subscribe for more videos like this, and like the channel to support it. Thank you very much for watching.